Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. So joining me today on the Caddo Convos is David Duston with MoneyWorks Group. David, thank you for joining me in the studio today.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So let's talk about MoneyWorks Group. What do you do and how do you benefit your customers?
Wow, that's a big question.
It's
like a
question.
short question with a lot of weight.
Answer.
Yeah. So MoneyWorks Group started years ago as a little boutique safety first strategy agency helping clients that would hear us on a radio show. And it's the MoneyWorks show, and you can hear it on various stations. And people would call seeking help because in facing planning for retirement or, whether you're in retirement or just planning for it, a lot of people realize too little too late that a failure to plan is a plan to fail or not meet your own expectations. And a lot of people tend to realize their middle name could be shoulda, coulda, or woulda too late. And so people would come to us, and it was very, what's the best word?
Probably distressing.
Yeah, but for me, quite rewarding to be able to help somebody pivot and be on a path with guarantees and not being, if you're in a situation like we've seen recently where the markets just tank and pull money out from under people's 401ks and they're left in a not so optional retirement, helping someone accomplish what they set out to do to begin with and live a retirement of their dreams that they feel they deserve. It's amazing.
Well, you work in this space every day, but for people who they just have their money parked somewhere or they have someone that's helping them, but they really don't. Most of us, David, are laymen. We just know that we're just doing our job, putting the money where we can. Tell me about the process to getting from where the average person is to a path of success so their middle name isn't shoulda, woulda, or coulda.
Right. Well, the first thing is proper planning and not meaning a strategy of what you're going to invest in, but planning to mitigate taxes, because I call him Uncle Sugar. He's like everyone's least favorite loved relative.
Yeah. Uncle Sugar. That's a great one.
Yeah, Uncle Sugar. And he's got his hand in the cookie jar all the time. And so a lot of people that are in, I call pre-Social Security recipients, those are people thinking about retirement. Whether you're in your 30s or your 40s or 50s, you have options to have things in a tax-free way when you do retire. And
that's intriguing.
Someone coming to us when they're 65 and says, hey, I heard some years ago you can do this retirement thing tax-free. I'm like, well, I wish we had talked
some years ago.
Yeah. And let's do what we can now. But, a lot of people that are W-2 income earners, have a household that's dual W-2, that there's not a lot of deductions. So being creative to help that person figure out ways to have deductions through a business of some sort. And it doesn't have to be anything too elaborate, but it needs to work. Systematizing, planning to mitigate taxes is where it starts. A lot of people think, it's never going to happen to me, but I don't need a will. I don't need a trust. I don't need estate planning. That's for older people.
Right.
And
before you know it,
I recently took a check to a wife whose husband is now no longer with us because of something that we did years ago.
Yeah. And
she is able to live as if he's still working and contributing to the household like nothing happened.
That's great.
And it's unfortunate, the situation, and the reasons why. But taking someone from, the thought of zero to hero is pretty cool.
What would you say is the number one objection? The people, like you said, a dual income W-2. What's stopping them from reaching out to you?
Not knowing who we are.
Fair.
Yep. A lot of times, money's out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And even the founders of the 401k plan, as we know it today, will tell you, it's probably not the best thing for everybody.
Something's better than nothing.
Something's better than nothing,
But,
I guess.
yeah.
And to me, a 401k is not even your money. I mean, it's really not. I mean, you can't do anything with it. There's a guard telling you, "Oh, you can't do this. You can't touch it till you're 59 and a half, or we're going to charge you a bunch of money." So that's not really something that's yours when there's all these rules wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And so maybe you want to invest it differently and putting some things in place that help you land on 2 feet in retirement in the future and have your goals met and not the government's goals. I mean, do you depend on the government for everything and believe everything the government promises? I don't.
That's a huge risk.
Let's
fix that now and say, please don't.
Fix that.
Yeah. Change your mindset now. You said something interesting in a meeting, and depending on when you're listening to this or hearing this podcast, the market right now in this current date is very volatile.
Yes.
And you said something in a group meeting. We're both here in the Caddo office, Reimagine, in the same location. And you said, even through this volatility, your customers, you guided them through this, shepherded them through with almost or no loss.
Correct.
When other people were losing, like watching their retirement disappear.
Yeah, there are people having to change their retirement strategy date, like I call it the target retirement date.
Yeah.
That just changed on a lot of people's calendars in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, we've got hundreds and hundreds of clients that they don't miss a beat. And to me, I sleep at night and I love it because I like knowing that everyone that we helped is working. And the beauty of what we do, I don't charge for what I do. I don't. So, someone listening to this that's thinking about retiring in the next 5 to 10 years, it doesn't hurt to have a conversation and just see if there's alignment. Alignment's very key in any relationship. It's that way in your marriage or your
any relationship,
business
you have, or otherwise. Yeah.
So what we do and what someone needs to be in alignment.
Yeah.
It needs to be intentional. One of my consultants that I work with all the time is very intentional about every little thing. And over the years, I've become very intentional about how we go about doing things and making sure that what that person needs, whether they realize they need that or not, that's an education process. And we start at the beginning, and there is no conversation that's too elementary. I work with my 9-year-old son, and he knows that popcorn at Costco used to be $9.99. Now it's $14.99, and knows the word inflation. And, it's unfortunately when bread and bananas and milk go up, someone on Social Security feels it hard. Yeah. And so bridging that gap with guarantees is really important.
So, David, a natural question is, you mentioned that customers don't pay you. How does that work?
Great question. It's like when you buy a house, you didn't write a check to the listing realtor, at least the old school way. Yeah. But what I really found rewarding about our business model is that the funds that we usually are working with, the companies with whom we place the funds, they compensate us for having done that, but none of our money comes out of your money.
Right.
And, things change. It's a fluid environment, but we've been years and years working that way.
But you're not going to nickel and dime your customers with fees. You found another way to not take money out of their pocket. Yeah, that's terrific.
It needs to go to them. Yeah. And speaking of fees, if you've got a 401k plan, you wouldn't believe the fees, the administrative fees, the trading fees, the risk, and the taxation if you pull it out. I mean, just everything. It's just a setup for future failure.
Interesting. So if the
cards are stacked against you in that way.
and on purpose, right? Because someone is benefiting and it is not you. So if I'm tired of that and I want to work with you, how do I need to prepare for our first conversation?
The first conversation is literally just that. It's a conversation. Give us a call. You can call us at the office, or you can call, one of our radio shows. I love to share my book. And I have a free
I see it
Safe
here in
Money
front
and
of us.
Income book. You
Yeah.
know, this is a copy of the book, and it's a little bit about me on the back. And this is what I share with people. And it's not the plan. It's an introduction to what your options are in
Right.
safe money strategies. And depending on what someone's goals are, it may or may not be a fit. So that's a conversation, number one. We don't have meetings. We don't have consults. We have visits. Everybody's got time to visit. So we visit, and it's very personal and private, and it's intentional that way. It's because we want to partner with someone who is commonality with what we do. And certainly there's opportunities sometimes that we have to defer someone to someone else that's more suitable for their goals. But 9 times out of 10, there's a portion of someone's future that we can help them to reinvent. And when I say that, that's our tagline. If you look on our website, you see reinvent your tomorrow.
That's true.
We help people reinvent their tomorrow every day.
Excellent. So who is your ideal person that they're listening and you're reaching out to them right now? Who's that person?
The ideal person is someone with concerns about their monies they have in the market.
So that should be everybody.
It could be someone that, is thinking of setting up some sort of savings for a grandchild. I know clients that set up tax-free future accounts for their grandchildren. I help people that are business owners, sometimes to become a business owner just through our consulting, but help people exit their business. That's a strategy that needs to start 4 or 5 years before you plan to make that strategy happen. The capital gains can rather be in your pocket working for you than going to Uncle Sugar and, Lord knows where.
Yeah.
But,
interesting.
It's just a lot of moving parts. Our ideal person is someone with concerns about their future and wants to be able to guarantee their retirement and mitigate taxation. And a lot of times people don't consider this. A couple is married filing jointly for years and years and years, and one of the spouses passes away. And now Uncle Sugar punishes that person by making them file single at a higher tax rate for the rest of their life. So putting some things in place that can help mitigate the taxation in retirement is huge. Preparing for when Social Security would be best for someone to take it. That's another question. How does income affect your Medicare rates? That's a huge one. Do you have stocks or bonds that you may have bought over the years and you want to cash them out and leave the money to an heir? Maybe not such a good idea because you got to pay capital gains and taxes on that. A lot of times people leave monies or plan to leave monies to their children or grandchildren. And maybe when that happens, those children or grandchildren are at their highest earning years. And instead of properly planning, we left a bunch of income to them that throws them into a higher income tax bracket.
Taxed for it.
And it's like punish. And, it's great to have a good heart, but you gotta have a brain to make it work. And knowledge is power in this department.
Well, speaking of heart, how did you get into this? How did you start? I mean, you gave me a little bit of the history, but what were you doing before that led you to start MoneyWorks?
I started designing CRMs, customer relationship management software for small businesses to automate workflow. And that business just seemed to evolve in the financial and insurance world. And I had an opportunity some years ago to pivot and create a job for someone. And so I created a job for someone to run the CRM side of things. And I wanted to carry carry that forward and create a company. And MoneyWorks Group was born. And now other companies actually buy our CRM, and life's good.
Yeah. And how long has MoneyWorks Group been in business?
So as a CRM business, probably 11 years now. as a financial resource for client-facing resources. That'd be coming on our 6th year. So definitely have a track record now.
I want to talk more about the radio show.
Sure.
So tell me, where does it air? When does it air? And what's the format?
Currently, the radio show is called the MoneyWorks Show and airs on KRLD, 1080 AM on Saturdays at 8, Sundays at 3. And the format is a platform where I'm talking in parables that are relatable to people.
Yeah, telling stories.
Yeah, it's telling stories. And, it's like one time I'm at we'll call it a party, one of these get-togethers. You would meet Thurston Howell at one of these parties, right?
Right.
You remember him?
Yes, of course.
Thurston Lovey.
Yeah, Thurston Lovey.
We're showing our age, I guess.
Yeah. Gilligan's Island.
Yeah,
for
Gilligan's
those
Island.
Look it up. It's a show that's been around.
But this gentleman's boasting about, I made so much money on this stock tip that I got, and I asked him, I said, well, I'm just curious, do you still own the stock? Or he said, oh yeah. And I said, so you haven't sold it? He said, no. And I said, so you really haven't made anything yet?
And you're basically owning a boat.
A week later, that stock had gone down like 28%.
Yeah.
So, like I said, money is out of sight, out of mind, and so is the risk and taxation that goes along with managing money correctly for oneself. So, a lot of times we just give stories that are relatable to people that go far enough into the back of someone's mind to bring that concept of needing to call us to the forefront of their mind. And so we have a lot of relatable stories that we just talk about on the show. And from time to time, I'll have, Heather Schreiber. She's a nationally known CPA. She's going to be on our show several times. Tom Hegna, you can Google him. He's
right.
Very well known in the financial
to listen
world.
To for sure.
Yeah. Picked up an endorsement by Will Kane on Fox Business News recently. Met Glenn Beck recently. I mean,
he's local. He's right here
this thing called MoneyWorks Group has taken me places I never would have gone, and I'm taking a lot of other people with me.
Good.
And the rising tide's floating a lot of boats.
Yep, that's one of my favorite sayings as well. What's your favorite story, other than the SS Minnow group?
There's just so many,
Yeah.
and I don't say that to deflect what you're asking.
But a lot of good has come from what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are people that say, I never thought that I would be able to do what I'm doing. I thought I was going to have to, be in a
work till they're dead.
Work. And a lot of times people relate to a big pile of money. They just want to grow their money. And, I might say, well, Sam, why do you want to grow your money? What do you want to do with it? Right. Well, what's it matter? It just needs to grow. Well, to what point? As much as I can get it. Well, why? So, I want to be able to afford to do things. What do you want to be able to afford to do? What are your goals? What are the things you're passionate about? And, you might say, well, I want me and my wife to travel. Okay, great. So we, go down the path, and a couple of years later, things are right where they wanted it to be. And I notice they're not traveling. And I go ask them, hey, what happened? And are you traveling? Oh, no, we can't touch that money.
Oh, goodness.
Why not? Oh, man, we might need that money. And one thing I've learned over the years, and this is just true, people that have income are happy. Yeah. And people that are happy live longer. So if you want to live longer and you don't have income, call us. I mean, it's just kind of a net. It's a hard conversation for people to have sometimes.
Right.
But when you think about it, if you've got your income when you're working, right, and you budget for play money, right? So you've got your paycheck and you budget for your play check. Well, it doesn't change when you retire.
Right.
You got to have a guaranteed paycheck and a guaranteed play check.
Yeah.
And after we got that covered, we can bet the farm.
Sure.
But don't risk, not being able to live the retirement that you've thought of for years and years and years over something so simple as greed.
Yeah.
Because greed forces us to use things that are, or want things that are totally useless to us in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just see a lot of poor planning out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about greed and growing your money, and it's not purpose driven. So having a purpose driven, intentional plan that is executable and meets expectations, that and estate planning, proper estate planning, no matter how old or young you are.
Keep up.
The last thing you want is the state of Texas deciding things.
Uncle Sugar will be happy to take and make a plan for you. Uncle Sugar will
they'll
gladly
pay a lawyer to do it,
to come after what they think is theirs.
Yeah.
Well, and you're staying ahead of that for your customer.
Staying on the forefront.
So as a business like mine, you're always looking for resources and whatnot. Outside of clients, what else can the community help you with?
Oh, wow. Great question. We're growing. Yeah. We are on the grow.
That's great.
And it's can be overwhelming sometimes because money moves 24/7. If someone that's listening has a desire for a career path or a career change, or wants to learn part-time how to get involved in the financial world, we're looking for agents. We're non-captive, so we're not really held hostage by some of these big companies. But if someone is listening and you're an independent agent and you feel like maybe you're not compensated and valued for what you feel you should be, call us. But I'm definitely looking for people that have a great work ethic and a strong heart for helping others. And, MoneyWorks Group could be a new home.
Excellent. And given they've listened to the podcast up to this point, they know you better. So they know your values and mission and the types of work you do. So yeah. I hope they reach out to you and continue working with you.
Yeah. And, you don't have to wear a suit. I mean, I wear cowboy boots and jeans every day.
It is
Texas.
Like you. Yeah. Excellent. So relaxed working environment and hopefully a successful future.
Yeah. Just looking to help people. And I can only help so many people in 24 hours a day. So I need help doing that. We have other agents that work with us, and we've got a great team, but the team's growing and there's opportunity.
Tell me about your relationship with Caddo. Why did you choose Caddo for your office?
Yeah, I've been around the office concept for years, and Caddo was once a different company, in its younger days locally, and I got to where I really needed to have a place where I could focus and be a part of something at the same time. I think what I like most about Caddo in general is it's an ecosystem. I mean, you and I wouldn't have met if we weren't here,
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, it's great for connections.
You learn about different businesses. You get to empower others. You get to utilize their services, and hopefully it'll come back and they'll utilize my services or know somebody. Everybody's mother, brother, sister, cousin, college roommate needs help with what I do. Right. And so it's just a matter of earning someone's trust. And, just even today, I had someone drive down here to meet with me that I met at a Caddo building in Frisco. And she just really wanted to make sure that what she understood about me was very clear, because now she's referring one of her best friends to me today. Yeah. And, that's just following the bouncing ball. Yeah. And the Caddo atmosphere is conducive to growing small business. And, whether you're, a small business that, just sells widgets, or you're a multi-million-dollar operation, Caddo has a home for you. And it's a professional environment where people can foster relationships and grow their business. So that's the reason I'm here. I love it, and having access to all their locations is great. And the managers and the owner staff, the best thing about these businesses is you become friends with people. Yeah. And the worst thing about it is you become friends with people, because there's accountability, because we're their clients, but they're willing to go the extra mile for any of us if you just ask. So it's really great.
Yeah, I agree with that. Parting thoughts. And also I want to encourage everybody, check the show notes, all the links to his book and other links that David has given me. They're there. Just scroll down and
MoneyWorksGroup.com. That's our website. You can give us a call. Our show number is 844-912-7233. That's 844-912-7233. And someone's there to take your call 24/7 and set up an opportunity for us to visit on the phone.
Excellent. Well, David, I really appreciate you coming in here, sharing your passion for what you do, the important business, because, I mean, really, we all make money and all spend money and all have goals. You can help with all three of those and more with the type of business you do. So thanks for coming in and sharing a little bit of that. And I encourage everybody to reach out to David and have that conversation.
Yeah, it was great being here with you. And I enjoy getting to know you over time, too. And I know you're helping a lot of small businesses, too. So I'm really glad you're here.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thanks again for being on the show.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos Podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagine. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.